Alright, so let's start with a sleep review in just a few moments. If anyone's joining me for the first time, welcome. Basically, how it works is I live stream my sleep apnea treatment. That's what you can see playing behind me right now. And after the live stream, after the live stream, I put the footage together into a little time lapse. That's what I just posted on TikTok. And yeah, I'll come up here on TikTok Live, just do a little sleep review. Basically, go over the footage, compare it to my sleep tracker. So this is the information from my sleep tracker from last night. So basically, we can take a look at this and compare it to this, the actual video of the sleep. So just a little bit of a science experiment I've been working on. It's just, if anyone doesn't know, sleep apnea is a sleep disorder, which I'm treating. I'll show you. Yeah, I'll get started. So I'm gonna open up and we'll play it at real time, kind of real time. It won't be like we're not gonna have to watch all 7.5 hours, but I'll fast forward through parts, as we need to. And let's see. All right. So, what time did I try to get to bed last night? 10:38. So 10:38, I get into bed. That's me waving hi to the live stream. All right. So if anyone doesn't know what sleep apnea treatment looks like, that's basically it. That's the sleep apnea mask. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in and give you a little play-by-play of what's happening. Right now, I'm putting the mask on. I'm hooking it up to the machine, which is there. It is. Okay, so I'm hooking up to the machine. Um, right now, I'm doing what's called a fit test, where I make sure that the mask actually fits before I go get in the bed with it. And then next thing I put on it is a chin strap. Now that's not part of my sleep apnea treatment per se, but it is something I've added for extra support. The other thing you may miss me adding was my AirPods. That's for noise cancellation. I click the hose in. The hose connects the mask to the machine. I had to unclick the hose real quick to slip my eye mask under there, and I'm all set for bed. All right, so I want to take about a minute to get all that stuff on, and then I'm just going to go ahead and settle in. So again, this is footage from last night's live stream of my sleep apnea treatment. So again, if you have any questions about sleep apnea, feel free to drop them in the chat. I can go ahead and answer those as we go. Alright, so we are off. Now let's go ahead and see what time my sleep tracker said I went to sleep. So sleep tracker said I went to sleep at ooh, that's not good. 12:07. Yeah, it's 10:40. 12:07. So I can tell you the next hour and a half are not great. Um, I know I'm on my phone a lot. Yeah, this was probably I forget what I was doing. I'm not like playing anything because my hands. Okay, maybe I'm. Yeah, now I'm playing something because my hands are going up. I think I'm playing like a Pokemon TCG or something. So okay, then eventually I give up on that and I figure I'm settled in. So you see me lift the eye mask up. That's signs that I'm awake. All right, so 11 o'clock rolls by, and I think I remember. Okay, I remember what happened. Basically, I laid there for about a little while, and once it was clear I wasn't falling asleep, I decided to get up and try to wind down before getting back into bed. So there is a cut coming up. I'll show you that in just a moment. So yeah, basically what? Gone to bed 10:38. Spent half an hour trying to sleep, and then once half an hour went by, I decided yeah, I'm gonna pause the live stream. So again, what you're seeing behind me is a recording from last night's live stream, and you'll see there. So there was the jump cut, if you didn't notice. All right, so time try to clock in the view. All right, so the clock says 11:14 when I stopped the live stream. 15. Okay. So I actually didn't. Maybe I just got up to use the restroom real quick. I forget exactly. Yeah, I think it was just a restroom break. Maybe was worried I was gonna uh, wake up anyway for a restroom break, so I decided to get out of the way right there. All right. So for the next 45 minutes until 12:07. Again, that's when it officially um, detected that I fell asleep. Now, elephant in the room. There are two rules of sleep hygiene that Um, I'm breaking right now. Number one is most obvious. I'm on my phone. Probably well, in this day and age, one of the best tips for better sleep is not have your phone in bed with you. Uh, so there I am, guilty as charged. At this point, I've given up on the phone. So hopefully, at some point, I, like I have the eye mask down. I remember this. Yeah, there I am peeling the eye mask up just to look at my phone here and there. But it's 11:41, so another 20 minutes or so, I should be asleep. In fact, yeah, no, there eye mask again. So yeah, the me lifting up the eye mask is sort of a tell. Yeah, there it did it again. That I'm awake. Ooh, what? Oh, what did I do? Oh, well, I changed the eye mask. Now I remember. Okay, so the thing about okay, so the other thing about the eye mask is whenever I don't have it down on my eyes, it's on my forehead, and my forehead gets hot and sweaty. So all this time I had the Snorlax eye mask on my forehead. It's beginning like sweaty and warm. So when I pulled it down, all of a sudden I had this like warm, sweaty eye mask on my eyes, and I was like, ugh. So I went and got my backup one. So this is kind of one of the things, for especially for someone treating sleep apnea, to always have a backup of any particular piece of gear you're gonna need to sleep with. So, for example, the eye mask, I switched it out because the one I was using got hot and sweaty. This one, all right, this time I learned my lesson. I'm pulling it straight down. No more looking at the phone. I hope. So I should be asleep in the next 15 minutes. All right, 11:50. Yes, these are still awake motions I'm having. So, yeah. Once I notice more like unconscious movements, it's hard to say, but like there's types of movements that are more uh, indicative of me being unconscious. Now I'm gonna keep fast forwarding that. I'm probably awake. This I remember. Yeah, a lot of like trying to find that comfortable position. But I think okay, that is a maybe. Or when did the sleep tracker say I went to sleep again? The sleep tracker said I went to sleep at 12:07, so 5 minutes from now. So sometime in the next 5 minutes, my motions should get pretty um, less frequent because when I'm awake, I can't help. Hey, Hugh. Good update on your BMs. Thank you for always keeping you a surprise. Appreciate you. At least we have our little meme here. All right. So yeah, talking about unconscious movements. So remember when I said a lot of the movements I made before were like clearly me being awake, like all that shifting around. Look at my hands. Maybe I'll zoom in. If you look at my left and right hands, it's like something. Yeah, they do sort of like this little um, twitch, and one hand does it before the other. Like watch, yeah, that hand does it, and then the other hand does it. Might happen a couple of times. that hand did it, and then yeah, that hand. It's almost like it one of them like twitches, and then the signal for the other one to twitch follows after. It's really weird. That's one of the unconscious things I've noticed myself doing. So at this point, I'm pretty confident I'm asleep. I mean, that last motion there might have looked like I was awake, but that's oh yeah, you can see uh my one wrist over there. Yeah, and a lot of these like finger motions aren't like awake motions. Cool, cool. All right. So that's me falling asleep. So let's go ahead and look at the sleep tracker. Ooh, you see, these are very interesting moments to look at. So, so it said I fell asleep 12:07. Right now in the recording, it's 12:17. I think a lot of those like movements got picked up as me being awake. Now, even I was like a little skeptical whether these were awake movements or not, but I'm pretty confident that most of those movements were me asleep. So let's look at it said for the next 5 minutes I'm awake. Let me see if there's any sign of that. Usually, if I'm laying there awake, I'll be like shifting around, trying to find a more comfortable position. I mean, okay, that might maybe. Again, if I had a memory of this, I would tell you for sure. But again, I'm not looking at the clock when I'm okay. I might have remembered that trying to sleep on that side, but no. That I also saw my one finger do the twitch thing, so that's probably more sign that I was asleep for this. All right, so that's 5 minutes. Now, whenever I tally up my sleep for the night, like it says 7 hours 17 minutes. Ooh, I cannot get that frame. 7 hours 17 minutes. I usually round up to the next half hour because I usually find there's what 5 minutes of wake time here that I kind of debunked. Another 5 minutes coming up at 12:24. Yeah, we'll look at that again. There's like clear signs that I'm awake. Like I'll lift my eye mask up, and yeah, that means I'm awake. I'm checking the time or whatever. But I'm gonna be confident to say I'm asleep here. Now, yeah, at the beginning of the night, I think it's a little more sensitive to, you know, twitchy motions and more likely to record those as being awake. But as it goes later in the night, it takes a lot more motion for the watch to think that I'm awake as opposed to asleep. So I think that should be the end of the uh, anonymous readings. Actually, there's one more at 140 we can go ahead and jump to because there shouldn't be much to look at. We can just get to admire my tossing and turning until 140. Cool. 115, 120. All right. Let's see what happens at 140. If I actually did wake up for 2 minutes, or if it's some sort of motion I did. So remember, my watch is on this wrist, so it may be something that I did with that wrist that may have. Yep. Oh, yeah. Check this out. So I'm pretty sure I'm still asleep, but let's I'm gonna listen to the ambient audio, like see what kind of. That's definitely like a yawn. Uh huh. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I should woke up there. I think I just kind of did like a unconscious yawn and a stretch. Oh yeah, and I saw that finger twitch thing happen again. So yeah, I'm pretty positive I'm asleep. And then again, it took an abundance of motion just to cause a misreading, and that's 2 minutes. So I have 12 minutes so far. I think I add on. So I've easily cleared the 7.5. I'm not really um I'm not second guessing myself, giving crediting myself for 7.5 hours of sleep. But again, it's just the thing about the sleep tracker. It relies so much on motion that you know unexplained motion can definitely throw off the amount of time it thinks I'm asleep. All right, so we have a short sleep stage coming on at 2:32. Let's rush to that. Go ahead and skip ahead to 2:32. And for this, honestly, there's not much to look at. JRR, it can't be that hard to sleep. As someone with sleep apnea, a sleep disorder, I will beg to disagree. Sleep apnea is a sleep disorder that basically causes the airway to close up. So people with sleep apnea, they'll snore as well as stop breathing throughout the night. So someone who has sleep apnea and is not being treated, they will constantly, well, they'll snore, they'll stop breathing throughout the night, and periodically after they stop breathing, Alex, thank you, they will either wake up gasping for air or it doesn't even stir them awake. Jordan, do I know of a good mask for a decent seal with someone with a beard? What type of mask are you using? A nasal or a full face, Jordan? JRR, oh yeah, okay, okay, I'll give you that. Falling asleep, yeah, I showed it earlier on my stream. Basically, I spent an hour and a half on my phone, and that was my own dang fault for being on my phone late at night. But yeah, it's for me, I usually get to bed like 20, 30 minutes, but once half an hour went by, I realized it was not happening, so I got up, used the restroom, tried to wind down again. Caleb, you didn't wear your. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, it's been a while since I skipped a night of treatment, so that's something I don't wish to remember. Okay. Oh, so Jordan, there is a version of the F20 that has memory foam around the rim. Do you have that version or the silicone version? Because I think the memory foam version might work better for you, but it does come with some other downsides. JRR. Oh yeah. So ask your sleep doctor, Jordan, if they have the one with I forget what it's called. Maybe I may be able to pull up the. That was my chat from last night. Oh yeah, I live stream my sleep apnea treatment, so that's what this footage is from. If you're just joining me, all right. So F30, F20 memory foam. Yep. I think it's like the F20 memory foam version. Is the memory foam version of it? Nightmare in Paris. Is that a promise? Because if all right. So Jordan, Stephen asked him about what's called the Air Touch F20. So it's the same as the F20, but it's a different style. That it's memory foam instead of silicon. So silicon, I can imagine your beard might like, it may not make a good seal around like the fine, outlines of your beard, and the the AirTouch F20 might. Now there is some downsides. The silicone ones, those you clean and reuse very often. The AirTouch, you clean them very gently because they're memory foam, or they're just like spongy memory foam on the outside, and you clean them and you have to replace them a little bit more often. So might be a little bit more expensive, but again, talk to your sleep doctor. It might be worth a change. Again, it's called the F20, but it's the Air Touch version, and hopefully your sleep doctor will know what you're talking about. The F20 will F20 Air Touch. Yeah, that's what's probably going to hopefully be better for beards. Actually, I might even be a good thing. I'll just see what the Google say right now. Air touch beard? Question mark. All right. ResMed actually, yeah, it actually says popular opinion for this is from ResMed's website, so take take it with a grain of salt because it's the provider saying it. But yeah, ResMed say um they say it's a popular option for anyone who has facial hair. So I think, yeah, the AirTouch F20 was probably going to be your thing. Yeah, and definitely talk to your doctor. Don't go out of pocket to try it because you want your resupplies to be that same mask because you don't want your resupplies to have um, to have the mask you're not using it anyway. Chromo, have I considered cardio? Yeah, I'm working on losing weight. I'm again, it's everyone's weight loss journey is different. I've lost weight in the past. I've gained weight in the recent. So, but all of the time, I have peaked weight, lost weight. The sleep apnea is stayed about the same. I don't believe my sleep apnea has gotten better with weight loss. But Chrome, there's no disrespect interpreted. It is an honest question because a lot of people with sleep apnea can, address it by losing weight, especially if the sleep apnea was brought on by weight gain. I think that's probably the most likely situation. Now, with some people, it's just like the weight gain happens to have coincided with them discovering they had sleep apnea, but the sleep apnea was something they just had the entire time, or was maybe like a genetic component to it. I just learned last night. Someone came into my chat and said they were diagnosed with basically every type of sleep apnea. I was like, what? I was like, yes, they had both central and obstructive sleep apnea, which is really a wild idea that I didn't consider. Um, yeah, Jordan, thank you, thank you for saying that because yeah, sleep apnea awareness is definitely one of the things that's still very. I'm glad we're at the point where it's you know it's a lot more accessible to people, but it still goes undiagnosed in a lot of people. So that's what I'm hoping to impart in these lives. It's just some awareness. So again, not much to see for these deep sleep. These little orange, I'm sorry, deep purple spikes are just like deep sleep, and they're just gonna be like moments I stayed still for a little while. But what I really want to look at is all the way over here at 4:12, I go into REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement sleep. It's a sleep stage as most commonly associated with dreaming. Jordan, I use the Apple Watch to track my sleep, and whenever you do sleep tracking with it breaks your sleep into those stages. Especially if you have one of the most recent Apple Watches. Cool, Jordan, thank you for the follow. All right. 4 something. 4:12, I believe? 4:12. Yep. We're gonna jump to that and look if we can see any rapid eye movement. Now, I could be a spoil sport and not have my eye mask down, and that's exactly what happened. So, actually, we can see one of my eyelids. Um, Jordan, I review my sleep. Yeah, I've. That's what I've come to discover is that a lot of, like, especially like when okay, so if I didn't live stream and I didn't have the video footage, I would look at the sleep tracking and like, huh, I don't remember being awake then, and that it came pretty clear after reviewing some of these. Like there is some margin for error, especially I can give you one of the reasons. My watch is on my left arm, and people say, "Oh yeah, how do you sleep without a blanket?" That's a 20-pound weighted blanket, so me moving that around with my watch arm is a little. I think it misinterprets that as like more motion than it actually is, or more effort than it actually is. So yeah, again, I mean, most people can sleep track and just get usable information like sleep length, sleep consistency. But if someone's treating sleep apnea, again, I live stream and live stream my treatment basic out of educational entertainment value and obviously some self-serving values as well. Again, I've discovered a lot of things from reviewing my footage that's actually informed my treatment a little bit, including that chin strap. That chin strap was something hey, Books on Rock, good to see you again. That chin strap I added on because I noticed that I would have a fault with the mask some nights when my bottom lip would like slip out of it. So I would just like, oh, let me add the chin strap and prevent that. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do maybe an extreme close up. This is like the maximum close up I can get. I want to look at just the one eyelid that's visible. I mean, I'm being out to see. Oh, you can barely see it, but there it is. That's my one eyelid. I'm gonna fast forward and just see if we can spot any rapid eye movement. Again, it may not be much of anything. If anything, the eye mask itself would twitch because, you know, during REM sleep, your eyes and your brain are like really active, like coming up with like a dreamlike scenarios. So it's definitely one of the sleep stages that's most beneficial for restorative sleep as well as like having more dreams. Now people ask like, how do you have more, how do you improve dream recall? It's like kind of the only answer is get more sleep, get more REM cycles in. Ooh, I think I pose for the, okay, perfect. I have a few moments where my eye mask is uh, up a little. You can see maybe some of the rapid eye movement right here. So I'm still in REM for another 20 minutes, and then, yep, there it goes. Up. Turn my head again. My eyelids are shy. All right. Yeah, you see when I like clench my eyelids, the eye mask moves. So that's another sign that I'm probably having a dream right now. And I did dream about something I wish I could tell you. I remember. I mean, I remember like slight details in the morning, but if it's ever like a memorable dream, I try to like write it down in the dream journal, or that's kind of the way to improve dream recalls, just to start like just noting down things once you've woken up. But at this point, if I even had a memory of what I dreamed about, it's probably all gone. All right, that's the end of the REM cycle. So I'm gonna back out and let's look back at the sleep tracker. All right, so that's the 40 minutes of REM. Oh, 1 minute of awake. We're gonna check if this is real or not. Again, oh, always gonna fact check the tracker. So let's see. Am I awake, or is it just this like yawn I'm gonna do? I'm probably gonna yawn and just like stretch. Yep, that probably did. That probably, yeah. Hmm. Okay, you see. Also, noticing my like. Oh, look, I'm clasping my hands together. It's a little hard to see. Maybe I'll do that. Do a little of this. Nope, it's not a picture already. Yeah, there it is. Is that a call? Oh, yeah, that's weird. Either way, I clasped my hands together, so that might have explained the misreading from the Apple Watch for why I thought I was awake. But either way, 7 hours, 7.5 hours was a pretty good roundup for that. Okay, so I'm back asleep. This aqua blue version's light sleep. So hey, Andy asks, is there a way to recover from sleep apnea? It's a sleep disorder, so it's there's treatment, and then there's like surgical options. For example, like they can remove tonsils, adenoids, things that might be part of the airway that might them being removed might make the airway a little bit more, uh, less likely to close up. There's also devices called, one of them is called the Inspire, which is like a little device. Now, now again, none of this stuff truly, well, the surgery may cure sleep apnea per se, but the device kind of just takes sleep apnea treatment. It just takes all this machine stuff and just miniaturizes it and puts in a little thing right here. So you still have sleep apnea technically, but the thing allows you to sleep um, normally. Patrick, you just had your overnight sleep study, and you have a CPAP in a few weeks. All right, cool. Again, you got diagnosed, so that's answers that question. Do you know what your AHI was? Their apneas per hour. They usually give you a number, like it's called the AHI or apnea hypopnea index. Mainly, it's the amount of times you stop breathing throughout the night. Take your time. But yeah, and I'll answer your question about before and after. Yeah, basically, before, sleeping always felt made me feel felt like a zombie. Like I was always um, yeah, I was always just tired when I woke up, and sleeping, no matter how long I slept, it didn't feel like it was making any good. I could sleep the entire night and I'll wake up even feeling worse. And it's a vicious cycle of like, oh, tired, exhausted throughout the day, go to sleep, wake up feeling worse. I'm like, what the hell? And you just keep going, and you get to the end of the night, insomnia, you're tired again, and then it's in. And as a person who had undiagnosed sleep apnea, it's just like a vicious cycle of just doing damage to yourself. And everyone's telling you to get more sleep, and they're like, and I knew like sleep's not gonna help. I've never gotten a good night's sleep in my life, and I never put the pieces together that it was sleep apnea. Books on the Rocks, you're switching for the N30i or the P30i. Ooh, I've never seen the P30i. I'm interested about that. Let me see. ResMed P30i? Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry you're having. I see. So it's a nasal pillow. Yeah, I'm just curious. What? Yeah, I forget a little backstory. I mean, I know we explained it on a few lives ago, but Books on Rocks, you had like were you given a nasal mask initially or a full face mask? Because um, nasal masks I don't have much experience with, so like the full face. So you were given a full face from the start, and now your sleep doctor's going to offer you a nasal one. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, uh, again, far for to me to question what your sleep doctor recommends. So yeah, definitely whatever works. Again, I again I do pretty well with the F30i, but again, everyone's mileage may vary. Oh, we got more questions. Pork chop, you have your home sleep study in a week. You're nervous for it. I it's one night. It's a one night thing. Your wife, you you'll probably need her for setting up some of the sensors because some of the sensors are gonna be in like really weird places. You may not be able to put them on your by yourself. So that's kind of the one. Anecdotally, that's the one bit of advice I have. One of my relatives did an at-home sleep lab, and luckily their spouse was a doctor, so I was like, "Oh, perfect." Dan Pollard, yes, I use the ResMed line of products for machine mask and everything. All right, cool. So, F30i. Yeah, I kind of get that too. I do notice every once in a while I will reach up to my face and like scratch it, but I think that's me just sweating into it. I'm just a gross sweaty dude at night. Oh man. Yeah, and that's a good point. Like a lot of times, like before I added on the extra layers of protection, like the chin strap and such, even the chin strap can get a little irritation. So I would like scratch under, and I can easily see like one of those scratches just turning into a full unmask. So again, you may not be so amenable to adding more straps, especially since I think the nasal mask would be a lot more low profile for you. And then yeah, hopefully that will reduce your face irritation and let you like adapt to the mask a lot better. Yeah, that's here's hoping. All right, cool, awesome. All right, so continuing on the sleep review, I'm in deep sleep at it's a long bit of deep sleep. Uh, 5:47. So let's watch 5:47. Okay, so yeah, that was actually I was thinking about bringing that up. The F30i with mouth tape. Interesting. Was the mouth tape your doctor's idea, or did you? Yeah, I'm curious because turns out I do have the um, tape. Interesting. So it turns out I have had the tape that a lot of people will recommend for mouth tapings. 3M micropore tape. It's really hard. It's like you're not going to be able to see the 3M logo. Basically, it's really strong tape. It's basically the tape they use to secure like IVs, so like intravenous. Um, you know, adapters and stuff like for your veins. Ow. I only stuck it on for a second and it already felt like a little tug on my arm hair. But yeah, yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, I mean that's the nasal mask and mouth tape. I would say was maybe the only situation where I say mouth taping might work, and then that's a whole big maybe. And obviously, I hope. Well, again, yeah. Now that you're on a nasal, that you're getting the nasal mask. It's up to you to try it. Just be careful. I know when someone was uh, fact check fact checking about mouth taping, they say you don't have to necessarily use like tape that's not breathable. Apparently, there's some breathable mouth tape. Probably um, like feature made. They probably sell it for some ridiculous markup on Amazon, and it's like, oh yeah, I pay how much for a piece of tape I'm gonna put on my face one night. Alan, when you don't use it, you feel 10 times more rested. Don't use what? I may wanna get some clarification, dude. Lord Fishy dude, bro, you sure it wasn't that bed? Yeah, that is my bed. I mean, it's purple. What's wrong? Purple sheets. Purple's the Gengar color. Cool. Yeah, Chinstrap, I realize, is a um, watered down version of Lord Fishy. I'm not gonna spend that much on a mattress. I might. One day I might. Yeah. Oh, it's a queen size. I'm I'm a big dude. So okay, not that big, but hang on. I'll go full view on this. Oops, sorry. Try 50. It's so hard to see. I'm not gonna show you the edges around my bed, but yeah, that's a lot of my bed. That's a really tall, stiff pillow there, and a lot of times my head's not on the pillow. It's usually off, so I slide down off the bed. So I'm 5'6" ish, and I'm like on top. Yeah, Lord Fishy Dude. I appreciate your commentary on my mattress, but yeah, I think the only thing I don't think a king size bed would fit in this room. To be honest, I'm already pretty cramped as it is. Yeah, yeah. If I ever go mattress shopping, I'll definitely think about it because again, one thing I say is you spend a third of your life on your your bed. You want to make it comfortable. Interesting. Okay, so Alan, so you with your CPAP, you feel 10 times more rested than when you use it. Interesting. Huh. So, Alan, were you diagnosed with severe sleep apnea or mild or moderate sleep apnea? I'm just curious. Yes, sleep is life. Sort of like how football is life, but with sleep. All right, 547. This is deep sleep. How comfortable are the AirPods Max for sleeping? They're great for noise cancellation. Well, Alan, and how long since you've been diagnosed, Alan? Just a follow-up question. Yeah, they were great for noise cancellation, and I've come to depend on them. Now, in terms of, I like I like my head cool. Like I like to not be a sweaty mess at night, but can't have everything we want. I've tried sleeping with the AirPods Pro. They're pretty decent for noise cancellation. The problem is I'll just have to like fish them out from somewhere like underneath my pillows or in my bed sheets by the end of the morning. So they'll run out of power. So that's exactly it. They'll be out of power, so I can't even ping them. Let's see, 2 years. Hmm, interesting. Well, um, yeah, do whatever you feel is best. I mean, definitely, obviously, with consulting with your doctor. I mean, if 2 years on CPAP and you're still not noticing any improvements, and in fact you're noticing the opposite, there might be again yeah, see what your sleep doctor says, or again, you can talk to like a ENT, like ear, nose, and throat doctor. They can look into other reasons you might be. Again, if CPAP's not helping, or again, I that's beyond the point where I'm comfortable giving advice. I'd say definitely talk to your sleep doctor or a doctor to see what the next steps are. Again, yeah. So when you were diagnosed with severe, I was diagnosed with severe 70 events. Yeah. Okay. So maybe this is more common of experience than you're not gonna want to hear this, and it's unfortunately it's probably just my position because my perspective because I'm on the other side of it. It took me 2 3 years of sleep doctor says you're getting great numbers in the machine, great, you're doing fantastic, and I'm like, I'm still exhausted. What are you talking about? And years went by like this. Ray, I live stream, and also that's why the lights are on, and I have an eye mask. Remy, I have gained and lost weight while on treatment, and my treatment needs have never changed. So here's my privileged position from being on the other side. Like I'm 6 years in, and 2 3 years in, I was basically what well I was in your position, except I would still never risk falling asleep without the mask. That was still one of my golden rules. I still believe the CPAP was like working, and I knew because like the first night with the CPAP was such a game changer that I was basically again maybe it's copium, maybe it's not, but I believe it was you know numbers aside, how I was feeling aside, I knew that it was treating my sleep apnea, and I just think about that number 70, and then when I look at my numbers now, like 5 or 7 or 8, and like, yeah, that's a lot less, but why am I still feeling like crap? And then it hit me. I Sleep apnea treatment treats the sleep apnea. It doesn't treat everything that makes sleep hygiene work to get you better sleep. And I think, again, no judgments on. Again, I don't want to make any judgments, but this is me judging my past, and again, just telling you my perspective from the other side. TSX, what is sleep apnea? See, Gucci, what you'll sleep when you're unalived? Well, technically it's not sleep, but okay. Sleep real quick. Sleep apnea is a sleep disorder which causes the airway to close up at night. When it closes up partially, it causes snoring, so that's the most common symptom of sleep apnea. And when it closes up completely, it causes what's called an apnea, like choking, holding of the breath, gasping for air. That's what sleep apnea is. Repeatedly doing that latter part, the apnea part, like multiple times per night. So myself, I was diagnosed with severe sleep apnea, so I would stop breathing 70 times per hour pre-diagnosis. So back to my little spiel about what my perspective is 6 years into treatment, looking about where I was 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, I was in the same position. I was like, except for the sleeping without the mask thing. Now, people say this looks uncomfortable, and I am inclined to agree with them. So it could be again. Just I'm not saying this is definitely it for you, Alan, if you're still here, but like, um, could be still be comfort issues 2 3 years in. It took 2 3 years for me to settle on this mask. So again, not saying you have to keep going with CPAP. You're already looking at alternatives. I would say what's most important is to realize that the treatment is a tool, but putting it on doesn't turn you into doesn't give promise you better sleep. 5 masks, 5 months in that one. Wow. Okay. Yeah, 8 months rather than that one. Okay. Yeah. So I empathize, especially the whole 2 3 years in. That was definitely my perspective 4 years ago. Again, I've been treating mine for six, and the last 3 years I've been treating on a live stream. So I've sort of been treating it in public, and sort of like, I kind of have to be. I'm kind of an open book about it now. Like my there's hours, days worth of um, footage of me treating my sleep apnea on my YouTube channel. The link of it, which is in my bio. So, what changed for me? I think realizing that consistent sleep is so much better than, like, if I basically kept my old sleep habits from before I was diagnosed, and just kept them and just added sleep apnea treatment, it it was going to help, but not a lot. I think what really was missing in my life was consistent sleep or hygienic sleep, and I'm talking from this perspective that from a person who breaks two major rules of sleep hygiene, which is sleeping with the lights on. Don't sleep with the lights on because it's a bad idea. I do it for the live stream. I do it for the views, and also two, don't keep your electronics in bed like your cell phone. So those two rules aside, I think sleep consistency has been something I'm starting to buy into, and it's actually been working for me. I say I'm a boring old guy now. I don't have much of a social life, so that's the point of my life that I've accepted. But that getting to sleep every night at 10, weekday or weekend, don't, I just try not to be a night owl anymore. And when I have a bad night's sleep, like I had a bad night's sleep Friday night, I just had to like keep rolling with it and try to get back on a consistent sleep schedule. That said, I've tasted it. I've tasted this the taste of success when get consistent sleep, and I wake up and I'm like, wow, I'm so energized. This is what people are talking about when they're like, oh, they can get out of bed and have all this energy. And then you also have to realize that sleep. A lot of people also come into this live and say, why am I so obsessed with sleep? It's like, it's just sleep, bro. I'm like, okay, fine. But sleep is literally what you spend a third of your life doing. 8 hours, ideally, a third of your day, every 24 hours is sleep. For a while, I think I was hyper fixated on sleep, that I was just focusing on getting like 6.5, 8 hours of sleep, but I still was feeling like crap throughout the day. So even the amount of sleep was never. oh, it's not that bad. So yeah, so I'm not trying to lecture or talk you out of stopping your CPAP treatment. I'm just telling you my perspective from someone who's been in your position maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and maybe that's not even. Again, just telling you that, oh, just try it again for 2 more years. I assure you, no, that's probably not what you want to hear either. But I can tell you, since getting consistent sleep, since realizing that sleep is just one of the things you have to juggle. I mean, it's part of being an adult. I mean, when you're a kid, you hate sleep, and when you're an adult, you start juggling work, social life, sleep, exercise, diet. You're juggling all these balls in the air. And for the longest time, I think I was just taking the sleep ball. I was like, "Yep, sleep, wake up, sleep, wake up, wake up, sleep." I wasn't paying attention to the rest of the stuff. So I would like be in like I'd be exhausted and I'll just get through my day of work and like, yay, I can go back to sleep. So I think, yeah, it's it may sound like a bunch of holistic BS from my end, that you have to like kind of, you know come into balance with all these things. But yeah, I've been in position, minus the sleeping without it part. Yeah, it again, if you are definitely sleeping without it, better. Do note that. I hope you're telling your doctor this. But the other thing I want to, well, caution you against, because I definitely never recommend anyone stop their sleep apnea treatment without like consulting their doctor. Um, see, because yeah, here's the thing. When my doctors tell me, "Oh yeah, you're getting great usage," or I have the mask on for 4 hours, and I keep telling them, "Oh yeah, but mask keeps coming off at night." Like, yeah, fine, you got 4 hours with it. But like, what about those 4 hours that it's not on? And yeah, it's just a long way to say, what am I saying? I don't know. I forgot what my point is already, but I think um, oh, well, maybe here's one practical bit of advice. If you use the Apple Watch for, if you use any smartwatch, it doesn't have to be Apple Watch. It's come a long way in the last few years. They've added sleep apnea detection, so that's right here under breathing disturbances. So you notice how my breathing disturbances aren't elevated, but I have severe sleep apnea. That's because that's what treated sleep apnea looks like. I don't have any breathing disturbances anymore. So if you're saying you're sleeping better without the machine, well, the machine was measuring your events per hour while you were masked up, but without the mask, there's nothing measuring your events per hour anymore. So I would say, obviously, whatever you do, I trust that you're working with a doctor to figure out what the next steps are. But one thing I can maybe suggest is to start wearing this. Now, okay, I'll give you an anecdotal story. One of my relatives was diagnosed with mild, moderate sleep apnea. They couldn't get used to the machine, so they gave up on it. And then I visited them recently and said, "Hey, put the Apple Watch on and do sleep tracking, and let's take a look at your breathing disturbances." And their breathing disturbances were actually quite low. So it's possible. Again, it's possible that you're not having breathing disturbances anymore, and if anything, the CPAP maybe, again, realm of possibility. It's possible the CPAP's treating something that's not there anymore. Maybe. Again, you never know until. Again, if you've been on it for 2 years, it's probably too soon for another sleep test. But something like this can maybe give you some actionable data. Let's say if I decided, hey, maybe I don't need my CPAP anymore, and I go to sleep without it, and I start recording my measurements from my watch, maybe I'll prove myself wrong. But my last sleep test was just a little less than 2 years ago, so I'm pretty still certain my sleep apnea remains. But again, all to say, Alan, is you're looking into alternatives, and you're obviously it's your life. You're uh, welcome to do so. I'm not trying to talk you out of it, but I'm also trying to give you my perspective with someone who's been on the other side. Again, you're probably again you don't try. I'm not trying to judge you or anything. I'm just saying I'm just giving you my perspective. Alan, if you're even still here, hopefully that makes some sense. But yeah, it's. I know I come from a privileged position of someone that's been. I'm 6 years in. I'm literally brag that I'm thriving on my treatment. I'm live streaming for God's sakes. I'm basically yeah. So yeah, I just want to make sure it's not. I'm not coming in a place of being judgmental. I'm just saying I'll give you my perspective, and I hope you have a good path forward. Hey, I said, the best case scenario, you don't have sleep apnea anymore, and the machine's just treating something that's not there. It's basically preventing you from sleeping, and you're again. There's probably ways for your doctors to prove that, but yeah, if it does work out, you can probably maybe say you don't need a machine anymore. I mean, you 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 got you've got the um you have the evidence from not sleeping with it to know what it looks like. So I think you'll be good whatever path you go forward. Again, if yeah, I'm not trying to. None of this should be interpreted as me trying to like talk you in to saying on CPAP. I would just say, yeah, you're probably in a good position that you're looking to make a change. And yeah, making a change is without it, you still have everything, but the actual touch. Yeah, again, it's sometimes you do need to make a change, and I think if you are ready to make a change, see what the next steps are. I think you're well within your right to see what's next. Cool. Again, Alan, thank you so much for the discussion. Again, really don't want to come off as judgmental, but it's really just wanted to give you my perspective. And again, I'm not like pro CPAP. Everyone with sleep apnea should be on CPAP. No, not necessarily. I mean, there's definitely stories of people who can, get off their machine. I know, I know. I also apologize a lot, so I'm sorry. Stop saying I'm sorry. Sorry. All right. So, all right. So I'm gonna wrap up my sleep review by going over me waking up. So let's take a look at the. Yes, we are constant apologizers. All right. So I wake up after a little bit of REM sleep at 6:30. So I'm gonna look at that. 6:30. Ooh, I actually get to see a little bit of my rapid eye movement. Yes. All right. So rapid eye movement, AirFit 40 on top, but tube. I have the F30i. That's what mask I'm on. Dan Pollard. That's what you're asking or saying. I can pull up the F40, AirFit 40 rather. All right. So I'm just zooming in on my eyes real quick to show you some of my rapid eye movement for towards the end of my sleep. Then, is that the mask you have? The AirFit 40? Cool. So yeah, I'm just watching the side profile of my eyes. Just yeah, I can definitely see some eyelid fluttering. I also see the eyeballs moving a little bit. So just a little bit of a footnote on the like last bit of my sleep review. All right, my alarm clock's set for 7:40. It's 7 o'clock on this room recording right now. Meanwhile, yeah, let me ask. Let me look about F40 ResMed F40. Aha, F40 AirFit. Cool. Let me look at this. Complete mask system by ResMed. Accept all cookies. Whoa. This is hardcore. um, yeah, that is. Yeah, I kind of like that the F30 has the hose port on top because when it's on the front, it's super hard to ignore. And I mean, obviously, close your eyes and everything. Yeah, okay, I kind of get this. Whoa. Looking at the cost of this out of pocket, I'm like, ugh, not that curious. But yeah, it's very similar. Did I change my shirt? Drown and I'm wearing the same undershirt that I haven't I haven't changed shirts yet. I'm going to take a shower and get changed soon. So thank you, Drown. I have to. Okay, yeah. So the F40 apparently is the next generation, I guess, for the F30i. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. See some more images of this. Yeah, I get that. Now, okay, yeah. So the F30, the way it accomplishes having the hose port on top is that let me zoom in. The top these top two straps are actually air channels, so they route to the hose, and these bottom twos are your regular like straps. So that's the difference between the F30i and the and the F40. Yeah, the F40 is gotta be this has got to be relatively new because I actually haven't seen this. Hmm. Wow. Oh look at the adorable couple wearing it. All these stock photos. Interesting. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I'm probably I'm settled on the F30i for now, so I probably wouldn't try the F40 even though I was offered it. I honestly don't know what the benefit would be for me. Maybe again, possibly more comfort, but hey, I'm already adding layers. All right, thank you, Alan, for the discussion, and again, best of luck. Hopefully, you and your doctors can figure something out. Hopefully, you'll get better sleep soon. Yeah, again, just sorry for apologizing so much. All right, back to the tail end of my sleep. All right, so I was in a REM for basically till 7:20. So basically, almost 20 minutes before I wake up. So being in a REM sleep right before you wake up. Ooh, actually, they wake up at 7:20. Did it record that? Yeah, it did. So at the end of that, it was like, oh, I was awake between 7:20. I I am not sorry. All right, so 5 more minutes. Apparently, I woke up for 5 minutes because I checked my time. I'm awake. Okay, so I managed to go back to sleep apparently. So let's see. Okay, maybe not. I mean, it was just like, no, I definitely did fall back asleep. Oh, here's the other thing about sleep apnea treatment. Books on Rocks. I'm using the Apple Watch to record sleep and manage different sleep stages. The other thing that's nice about sleep apnea treatment is you get to wear the mask and you get to breathe with the blanket covering your head completely. A little side benefit. All right. So coming up. Oh, what did I do? I think I turned off my alarm out. So normally my alarm clock's set for 7:39, but I don't wake up here. I think I let my 7:45 alarms wake me. So I believe that's my phone alarm. So I'll pause the piano music real quick and what I hear. My phone alarm is birds chirping. Yeah, you can actually do that and you still have constant air supply. All right, so there's the birds chirping. That's my phone's alarm at 7:45. I'm waking up. Oh, I instinctively go for the alarm mode, but like I think I remember turning the alarm off. All right, so there's me unhooking from the mask, the headphones, stopping the machine. Oh, look at that big yawn. All right, so that was the end of sleep. That was 7:45. Did it record me going back? Yeah, it did. So I did go back into a light sleep for about 20 minutes. All right, so all said and done, I had 7.5 hours. Again, 7:17 rounded up with some uh, various moments awake that I can fact check that were wrong. Here's my percentages for the different sleep stages. Basically, I had 19% REM, 10% deep, and 6%, 67% core sleep. So that's again on a decent night of sleep. I think the percentages are pretty low, but on a shorter night's sleep, like you might get more REM, more deep sleep, and even the little bit less that you get might actually count more. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, here's the actual amounts if I compare that. So the amount of REM sleep, for example, is an hour and a half, as opposed to as a percentage is 19%, and then the amount of deep sleep is 48 minutes, 10%. But still, decent little night of sleep. Again, I aim for 8.5 hours, but I'll take 7.5. I think 6.5 is my bare minimum to be like a functional human being. All right, let's see some different charts. Oh, this is the chart I want to look at. My 7-day average. So I'm closing in on increasing my average from it was like 6.5 last week. Now it's up to 7.5. And you see, the worst night's sleep was Friday night. If you've been in my last couple of lives, I've explained that Friday night was a little bit of a scheduling issue where my social schedule and my work schedule just like minimize the amount of time of sleep I can get. So could only get 5 hours. I got the most out of that 5 hours as I could, but it was still just 5 hours. So that's the least amount of sleep I've gotten in a while. Not on vacation or anything. That was actually a forced error. But I'm going back like last Tuesday and Wednesday. I got like pretty decent amounts of sleep then, and then started trailing off Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and weekend. Saturday night was glorious because I got to sleep in on Sunday morning, so I just got 9.5 hours of sleep, or 9 hours 15 minutes of sleep. Okay, again, breathing disturbances, not elevated. Not again, not a surprise for someone who's treating their sleep apnea. And what else do I have to look at? I think I have my air score, 98. Usage is 10 hours and 12 minutes, but I only slept 7.5 hours. Okay, I maybe have an explanation as to why it took so long to fall asleep last night. I took a nap around 8 o'clock last night. I was so exhausted, and I knew the dangers of napping without the machine. So I strapped the mask on. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try not to take a nap, but if I do, I'm messed up. And okay, this is gonna sound weird. I was rewatching my last TikTok live, so fell asleep listening to myself talk, which is just okay. Apparently, I bored myself to sleep. Oh man. Um, So that was my usage. So usage was pretty good. Mask off was 4. So I took the mask off once from the nap, once when I was waking, woke up for the hour, and then yeah, that maybe once or twice more. Windshield. Is it dangerous to nap during a day? I wouldn't say it's dangerous, but it's just not advised. You just won't feel good. Just trust me on that. I've taken accidental naps without the mask, and I've woken up with like a headache. I'm like, why did I do that? So if you're going to nap, well, my sleep doctor says keep the nap short, half hour, because when I tend to accidentally nap, I don't set an alarm, and I nap for like 2 hours, and then I wake up without the mask. I usually wake up with a headache. Instances events per hour 1.2, so that's pretty low. What else? Yeah, and the only thing that docked me 2 points was the mask off, and again, that's explainable by taking the mask. I couldn't sleep for the first hour, so I took the mask off once, um, maybe once or twice, and then the nap, and then once more beginning of the or the end of the begin this morning when I woke up. So there's my air stats. People have been asking me to have I use Oscar. Yes, I do. I still do not know what any of these readings mean. I mean, I kind of know what the readings means. I kind of get it. The pressures, the flow rate, flow limit, leak rate, tidal volume, mass pressure, respiratory rate. Yeah, I'm glad. Like there are like sleep apnea power users out there. I don't consider myself one of those yet, but yeah, Oscar definitely has a lot of numbers. That yeah, Oscar's an open source sleep apnea app. Oscar sleep apnea. Da, 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 da. Oscar is an open source sleep apnea analysis reported. Here it is. Here's their website. It's basically available for all major platforms. I wonder if they have some screenshots. I'm not going to show you my screenshots because, yeah, I don't really know what's going on in mine. Um, yeah, I mean, this is the developer's website, so it's probably not going to give you a lot of like real world examples about how it's being used. Maybe I'll go look at screenshots of it. This is from apnea. Oh, yes. Here's the apnea wiki. Apparently, so this is how it breaks up. This is the level of detail you can get with Oscar. Apparently, magnify. Yeah, like you thought it was just HI. I mean, that's one little metric right here, and then there's all this like little data that really only like your polysom tech is probably gonna, your sleep doctor is gonna look at, but it's interesting. A lot of it's way over my head. Like I seem like I know what I'm talking about. Well, when I look at all these graphs, I'm like, okay, I do not know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's really quite. Yeah, if you're a fan of graphs, Oscar is the app for you. Wow, what is what is this? Pal? Oh, that doesn't sound fun. Palladial prolapse. All right, now I'm just looking at random screenshots from Oscar, but yeah, again, a lot of people have been asking me about that, and I was like, okay, I downloaded it. It's interesting to look at the data from my machine, like just get more than just like the little number, but yeah, it's I'm sure it's useful for some people. For me, it's like, oh, yeah, I kind of get what I'm doing in my sleep. All right, so what am I gonna do differently tonight? Well, I'm not going to. Hopefully, I'm not going to do this where I get to bed at 10:30 and then don't fall asleep till midnight. That's like an hour and a half wasted, and there were reasons for that. I think it was the 8 o'clock nap. That's not happening tonight, so that's what I'll be doing differently. Yeah, but otherwise, the game plan is still the same. I'm gonna have the sleep apnea treatment good to go. Yeah, thanks for chatting, Books on the Rocks. Yeah, do yeah, check in when you get your new mask. All right, folks, that's about the end of my live. Again, sleep review is over. Went over my entire night's sleep, discussed a little bit of sleep apnea. If anyone has any last questions about sleep apnea, feel free to drop them in chat right now. I'll put that as the last call. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the live. And like I said, I'll introduce myself one last time. Basically I live stream my sleep apnea treatments. That's what you're seeing on the screen behind me right now. And I like my link to my channel is in my bio, so check out that. And after every morning after I wake up, I put the live stream footage together into a little time lapse. So I try to post on TikTok, and right after I post it on TikTok, I go on live to basically discuss how I slept and give a little play-by-play analysis of the type of sleep I got. So, yeah, I slept decently last night. Ideally, I would have slept more, but I kind of had trouble falling asleep, and I kind of know why. Um, it rhymes with app. No, I took a nap. I took a nap, and that kind of like sabotaged me for last um last night trying to get to sleep. Usually I can get to sleep 20-30 minutes, but once 30 minutes went by and I realized I wasn't falling asleep, I decided just to get out of bed, try again, and eventually around midnight my body relented and fell asleep. So that's that. All right, folks. Yeah, that's my thing. I also play Pokemon Sleep, so if you check me out on Twitch, I'm listed under the Pokemon Sleep category. Basically, my live streams are between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. Eastern, so you can check me out live. Otherwise, I do these TikTok lives in the morning. I'll probably be doing one tomorrow morning, hopefully after a better night's sleep than last night. But again, that's all we can hope for, better night's sleep than the night before. So yeah, thank you all for joining me. Thank you for the 1.1k hearts. Appreciate y'all and my new followers. Alrighty, y'all. I'm gonna end the live right there. See ya. Peace out.